Women, what are the subtle kinds of low-grade sexual harassment you face on a constant basis? I'm a hand therapist. I have to show people how to massage their scars effectively after their surgery, because otherwise they can become stuck to the bone tendon underneath. To do this, I have to put cream on the scar and then demonstrate the right pressure to put on while they massage it. I have lost count of the amount of times a man has tried to hold my hand back or make some lewd comment about how I can massage elsewhere if I like. Just no. Yuck. Aged 16, 17, I worked in a DIY store. I had so many men ask how much it had cost to buy me. Can they take me home with their new bag of cement? And even had one guy ask me what I was doing later that evening, and can he take me for dinner. Sometimes they did be quiet when I did reply with I'm 16. Other times they did just continue. When I worked in an office, there were a lot of sales reps who didn't care that I didn't want to be touched because they were huggers. Men older than my parents would shake hands with the other people in my department, but insist I stand up for a hug. When I brought it up to my boss, I was told they were old school salesmen and to just laugh it off. I do not really experience sexual harassment myself. Some general sexism and discriminatory treatment, but no actual sexual harassment directed at me. I did, however, work for a boss who used to kiss his female employees and talk about things he had done to other women he had worked with, like getting a woman who wore skirts to go up stepladders in his last job. He never tried any of that with me. I once saw a young girl and an older guy talking at a bus terminal, and overhearing them, it was obvious she did not know him. He kept on asking her where she lived. Did she have a boyfriend? And she just kept doing that nervous laugh and deflecting. I pointed it out to an inspector who was close-ish, and he distracted the guy while she got on her bus and left. I also worked in an ed department where senior management was super gross to women. The director used to ask one woman to go up and down the hall because he loved how she bounced. Another guy, senior management, married with a young baby boy, used to ask the young 19, 21-year-old women on graduate placements how they like to have sex, if they did it doggy style, once if they liked to thumb up their bum. Yet another member of senior management would target his only immigrant woman with questions about what she did to get a visa, implying sexual favors rather than filling in forms. Grossest place I ever worked, they never targeted me, and that was pure luck as far as I can tell. I left that job very quickly. I have never been sexually harassed before, but definitely have experienced sexism, misogyny. I have also been asked if I'm old enough to work there, and if I was a child bride when I was in my late 20s, got married young, but not that young. I have witnessed coworkers and friends being sexually harassed, but I have never even been hit on. I'm also very plain looking, which is probably part of it. Once I overheard a customer telling my coworker that he wanted to lick the icing off the cupcake on her sweater. Another coworker was asked out by a customer, but told him she was married. He winked and told her that was fine. My old female boss used to tell the younger women to wear a ring on their left hand if they did not want to get hit on. Apparently it worked for her when she was younger, though it is sad she had to even do that. At college parties and in clubs, bars, when a guy passes you and he grabs your hips and makes sure that he passes letting his crotch graze your ass, they think they're so slick. Or when they come up behind you and start grinding on you. I was sober, ordering water from the bar, designated driver, and some guy much taller than me, I'm 4'11", comes up behind me, pins me against the bar and starts grinding on me. I asked him to move away, and he would not. Asked the person next to me and the bartender for help. Got ignored. My friend saw it and pulled the guy off of me, but seriously, that was scary. I think I was only about 18 at the time. And the few other times I have been into clubs, I have had very similar experiences, so I avoid them. When I was in university, one of my housemate's younger sister came for the weekend. 14-year-old, but dressed mature and wore a lot of makeup. We were walking in town and a group of guys in their mid-late 30s were casually shouting that they wanted to duck her and the ways they'd do it. I remember saying openly that it was disgusting and how long she was unlocked. and she said she was completely used to it. And my friends who work in nightclubs told me how normal it was for drunk guys at the end of the night to wait outside the club for them to finish. So most of the girls got a ride home with the bouncers just in case. Totally normal. And one friend told me she had to bar a regular from coming in when she realized he was wanking on the other side of the bar. She was talking to him, then turned to look at the CCTV that was under the bar and saw him going at it. But she said it wasn't the first time that had happened. I'm an engineer, so I am very used to being in a male-dominated workforce. As others have mentioned, the casual touching is one that really gets me. Another is the constant unwanted random people who see a woman in the office and feel the need to talk to her. It is worse if you sit on an aisle. Telling them you're busy doesn't work. They just keep on talking. And I don't know if this counts as sexual harassment, but having my work questioned until a male engineer says it is okay will forever piss me off. I'm in the same area of work. Have experienced all of the above. I have worked in a male-dominated workforce for 10 years right out of uni. 3 different companies, and it's been the same in each. If I was 20 years younger, in a creepy way by older, married men is a common one. Any days I wear a skirt to work, I get comments on it without fail, saying I look good, or I should dress like that more often. On work nights out, and they get a bit of Dutch courage in them, they become a bit more full on with the compliments. They all know I have been in a relationship for 10 years, but because there is not a ring on it, I might be up for it. I try to laugh it off, but a few times I bite and tell them they are making me uncomfortable, or that they are edging towards that line. Most times that goes over okay, but one time I was asked if I was a lesbian because I did not like his flattery. Do not get me wrong. There is plenty of lovely guys in work, but there is always that handful of men who you just try to avoid. Arg. Sorry, I needed to vent. Corporate office. Always asked to take notes minutes to meetings when I'm the only female attending. I'm a manager just like everyone else, not your admin. Stopping by my desk open floor plan to look down my shirt rather than look at my face when speaking. I'm large chested. Guys making comments on other women's ass chest etc. Loud enough to be overheard often in the few minutes before meetings start. Showing me inappropriate lewd pics from their phone. Being repeatedly propositioned at work. Getting cornered by the same creep at any or work functions. Then, having the mean girls of the office be jealous I'm getting attention. Okay, not all low grade. I got out of there, yes, there was a lawsuit. International meetings in mostly male dominated field. 8 women out of 60 people. Guess who were asked to take notes in the different meetings? Most of the gentlemen were very good and made sure our comments were heard. A few of the men interrupted every time a woman spoke. In the meeting I was note taking. I made sure to ask those men to please wait so that I got the comments on file. Thankfully some of the other men caught on and also made sure the women were not ignored. The casual touching. Putting a hand on my shoulder or lower back or leg, or getting uncomfortably close to me. And if you say anything everyone just wonders what my problem is. There is also men who will do it so openly knowing no one will do anything about it. At a work event one particular guy kept following me and putting his hand up my dress. The last thing I would say is that I'm considered at least mildly attractive. This leads to the constant gossip and jokes from the men in the office trying to duck me. We need a say never ever put your hand on a woman's waist or the small of her back unless you are dating or something. For some reason a lot of guys do this to me at work when they walk by me and it feels so intimate, violating. I don't know, it is kind of a sensitive part of the body, and being grabbed by the waist is usually a romantic thing. The shoulder is not nearly as bad, but you really should not need to touch your coworkers at all. Also, putting a hand up your dress is actually, literally sexual assault. I'm so sorry you have experienced these things, and I hope these guys pay dearly one day. Totally agree. Shoulder is a, waist or lower back is definitely intimate. Like you said, it just feels so wrong. Especially if they rub or pet a little bit. Some guy who touches my waist liked to pull me in a little when he did it. I don't even know if he realized what he was doing, but I hated it. I don't know why anyone is touching a coworker unless it's a hug or handshake or something. I know one where men block the door to talk to woman. I have heard about it from a female friend. Or try to chat you up when you are on the clock. Dude, I did really like to tell you to piss off, but I don't want to lose my income. Worst is a guy that always came in to chat with me gleefully coming in after New Year's. It is custom pre-Rona to shake hands and give 3 kisses on the cheek in my country. I usually wander around the store to give off the I'm busy vibe when he came around, but I made sure to stay behind the counter that time. Back when I was working fast food I had a regular who was like that. Creepy, semi-pervy old man who wanted me to stand there and talk to him for hours and would follow me around while I cleaned the lobby, staying so close I could feel the heat off his body. Well, I put a stop to the close following by accidentally knocking him with the broom, mop, spray bottle, etc. But I could not tell him off because I enjoy being able to buy food. So I had to be nice to him. Then one day he ends up in line behind me at another store. He starts to pull the same crap and he is getting gruff, rude, one-word responses while I refuse to even look at him. He says something like, "What happened, honey? You are always so nice when I see you at the restaurant." I finally made eye contact for the first time. I stared him straight in the face and it was low-key one of the most awesome things to be able to say. When I'm there, I'm being paid to be nice to you. Here, I do not have to. Dude got in another line and never bothered me at work again. A couple examples. One, the doofus from Home Depot delivering my refrigerator, looking at the space it is supposed to fit in and saying it would not fit. He looks me up and down as I mention that I did measure. He then asks if my husband was home. Since I obviously did not get it, I replied that I was not married, which seemed to explain everything to him. It ended with him being lit on fire. Oh wait, no, I was just thinking that. It ended with me saying never mind. If you cannot figure it out I will do it myself, which crushed his ego enough that he did, in fact, put the refrigerator where it belonged. And yes, it did ducking fit, because I measured. To the mechanic talking to you like you are too dumb to pour a glass of juice, much less drive a car, much less understand that your brakes should not be bad after 20,000 miles. Nor should your shocks. They try to con women for unnecessary repairs all the time. My friend had his mom bring his car to the tire place to take advantage of a shock absorber sale while we were in school. He repeatedly and clearly told her not to have anything else done, no matter what they said. She was waiting while they put the car on the lift and the manager came out and told her that one of the leaf springs was cracked and that she needed them both replaced. She refused, but when he started telling her that the broken piece could pierce the gas tank causing the car to become engulfed in flames, she caved and had him do the work. My buddy was pissed. His mom ended up paying for it, but it still sucked that the place would take advantage of the situation. Having a conversation only for them to end it by getting really close and saying you're very pretty, very beautiful. Every guy should want you. It doesn't sound bad, but they say it in this whisper deep tone and get uncomfortably close. For me it always happened after a short conversation about something normal like asking directions. Once it occurred after this older man sitting a table away asked for help figuring out how to fix his phone. I told him I didn't know, but there was a phone repair place close by. He kept asking, then asked where I went to school and what I did. It didn't seem too weird because I'd seen him at this coffee shop before. But I was always with my dad. This time I was alone. I got up to leave and he started whispering about how pretty I was, and every step I took to move away, he inched closer. Someone came up to talk to him, thank God, but I refused to go back for several weeks after. It's bad enough coming from someone you just met. It's worse coming from a much older guy that you just met. I work in the oil industry, which is very male dominated. Men in general think they can touch you, leading you through a door by the small of your back, touching your arm while they re-speaking to you, trying to fix your collar or hair if it's out of place, closely leaning over your shoulder looking at your work. Is it a pat on the ass? No, though I've experienced that too, but it's yet nonetheless. The kicker is that if you call them on it, you retreat it as unreasonable because it's not a pat on the ass. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.